Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Crypto Waffle episode 16. Racking these up now. Today's topics: Bybit ETH Hack, biggest one to date. End of American tech, and are memes dead? Is it time to liquidate all your meme bags? So let's kick it off with the Bybit hack. Let's dive in. Do you know the technicals behind it? I know
Right,
some of
yes.
it.
Yes, no, I do. It's the biggest hack in the history of the universe. Let's go. So, $1.4 billion worth of Ethereum was hacked from a centralized exchange called Bybit. The way they done the hack was they socially engineered they didn't socially engineer. They spoofed the system into thinking that the team was sending the funds from one address to another address. So they kind of got in the middle and they showed all of the screens, and it was multiple screens. They showed multiple screens that the address was a certain address. Then it turns out that address was not that address, and they sent their ETH, instead of sending it to a warm wallet for it to start to move around, they sent it directly to the hackers. The hackers have since mixed this Ethereum around with hundreds of addresses, and it's now scattered all over the blockchain. A on-chain sleuth called Zach XBT has done some work, and he has found out. I will quickly
Doesn't it link
share
over
my
to
screen.
he's found like 120 plus wallets, didn't he, or something?
Yes. So if I
It's crazy
show,
what he does. It's absolutely mental how he's done all of that.
let's show this.
I think I saw the graphic. Have you got the graphic? All the little lines coming off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the jobby. So what he's done is he has found all of the mixing that these guys have been doing. That's actually not the best one. The best one is this one. So he's shown where the theft has happened and all of the. I think the yellow might be a different hack and the red might be a different hack. But he's shown all of the addresses to where it's gone, the mixing, and then the mixing down and the mixing down. So each line is a transaction, effectively.
Crazy.
And you can see the whole thing. If I open this in a new tab, you might be able to. Oh, it's gone down for whatever reason. Yeah, it's gone down. But he's basically cracked the code, and he said that the people behind it all are Lazarus, which is a state-sponsored North Korean hacking outfit. I'm not sure how much we can say they're state-sponsored. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how strong that link is.
Look, when I first saw this, I just thought, imagine being that guy that has just landed 1.4 billion into one wallet.
Well, allegedly, they say that the Lazarus Group work for the North Korean government. So they're an arm of the government. So effectively, although it's a hack, it's not like one guy's going to get to go out and buy Lambos, new wife, all the whole trimmings.
King Jong will be getting a new big red button.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Kim Jong Un will be getting a new red button to put next to the other 5 or 6 red buttons he's already got.
Yeah.
But it's really good that the blockchain has identified where all this theft has gone, and the $1.4 billion can be seen. Some groups have started to freeze the ETH if they possibly can, if it falls under their protocol and they can control it. Then they have done. So there has been reports, but those reports have been of small amounts of ETH, like $200K worth of ETH, which is tiny when you consider that 1.4 billion has gone missing. And the last little bit of news was to counteract this. What was being discussed, not for long though, but was being discussed, was Ethereum rolling back their chain. So what they could do effectively was, where the hack happened on, I think, the 20th or the 19th of February, or the 20th probably, they would roll back the chain so that those transactions that hadn't happened, and all of the ETH was back in the wallet, which would mean all of the validators would have to agree to this rollback, and they would just change the state of the chain to the state of the chain when it was. Now, There is some precedence for that happening, or there was claimed to be some precedence for that happening when we had the original DAO hack. So the DAO was one of the first smart contracts built on Ethereum, and that was hacked for some, I think it was like 500 million or something like that, which is small potatoes compared to what we've had here. The difference being with that hack, all of those funds was moved to a single smart contract, and that smart contract had a 30-day call-off period before you could disperse all of the Ethereum all around all around the chain. Now, during that 30-day period, the chain agreed to freeze that address and then roll it back. And that's different to what's happened here. What's happened here is all of that Ethereum has just moved, and it is moving. And so for them to roll it back, they would have to roll back a lot more transactions, and it's pretty much impossible. And so
Wait, technically impossible, or could they still do it? It's just more aggro than it's worth, sort of thing.
it's not technically impossible, but it's so close to technically impossible, it's pretty much impossible.
I wouldn't have said 1.4 billion is kind of big enough. You know what I mean?
It's not big enough, and the issue really is that if they roll back certain transactions, some of the transactions might have involved real world assets. So I might have gotten some of this ETH somehow and spent this ETH and bought something and have that actual thing in my hand. And if you roll back the whole transaction, you roll back all these transactions, I'll still have the thing in my hand, and that person will be out of pocket. Some of the ETH has gone across bridges. All these sorts of things have happened. So it's not technically impossible, but it'll be like picking up individual bits of rice that you've dropped in the sea.
More aggro than it's worth.
Exactly. It's possible technically, but it's not. Yeah, it's nowhere near worth it. So a few of the bigger Ethereum developers, a few of the more well-known Ethereum developers have actually come out and said this rollback, there's no chance. It's not happening. It can't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, for people that don't understand kind of what we're on about here, is so that age-old thing that people will say crypto's a scam, blah, 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 hackers use it and all this stuff. The beauty of crypto is that you can trace it all. So we know what Cryptosi just showed, all those transactions. You can follow where all of this money has gone, and you can see where it lands up. That's the beauty of crypto. So everyone's saying that cryptos, you can't see what it does or where it goes, is complete rubbish. You can do it yourself on Google.
Right. So, and there's two sides to this coin, right? So on one hand, it is beautiful. On the other hand, it's not beautiful because it means you can always see it. So everyone can always see it. So
you can't
if
touch
it's your own,
the annoying thing.
yeah, exactly. So the times when you're not stealing money to buy red buttons, you don't really want everybody else to be able to see what you're doing. There are also some tools which this Lazarus group have not yet used, such as Tornado
Cash is one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. So if they was to move this ETH into Tornado Cash, which I'm kind of hoping they do, just for the sport of it all, because they've got it now. So it's there.
I saw a tweet that apparently Tornado Group would try and put a stop on them. You'd be able to use it.
So they would try to.
That.
Yeah, they would try to.
I understand, but then again, Tornado Cash is not. It doesn't. They're kind of built on we don't care where it's come from, sort of thing.
Yeah,
this is what it's the tools used for.
But I don't think there is a facility within Tornado Cash that would allow them to stop it, and we don't even know who them is as far as Tornado Cash is concerned. So I don't think. Sorry.
It's not like they're a company with one blow that everyone can have a go at.
Exactly. They're not a company. The original developers have been nicked. It's open source. It's run by a DAO. Nobody uses the DAO. It's just there. It's one of those things that is just there. So I think they probably could. I would like it if they did. So Kim, if you're listening, chuck some of that ETH into the old Tornado Cash and let's see what happens.
I'll put my wallet address in there as well. You can give us a little tip.
Yeah, no, don't do that. don't do that. I don't want any of this money. And that's another thing. So this is what happened with Tornado Cash, is that they started to dust people's wallets with the Tornado Cash token, because the Americans had sanctioned it. So they were like, all right, well then we're just going to give this money to everyone, and we'll see if
Yeah.
you sanction them too. The North Koreans could do that if they wanted to. They could take some of this money and send it to Donald Trump's address because they know
Yeah, they
what it
could.
is.
I saw a tweet apparently that someone thought they were going to send a large amount of Vitalics to try and get actually ETH coming back up again. And I was thinking that's not a bad little promotion.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, the problem we've got obviously is that the North Koreans allegedly they don't have internet anyway. So all of these bright ideas that we've got, allegedly they can't see them anyway because they've got their own tiny intranet and they only
Yeah,
get to see propaganda. But I think it would be great fun. It would be really good fun if they sent some of that ETH to Vitalik, a little bit to Trump, a little bit to the Department of what they call it, Department of Justice, the DOJ, a
yeah,
little bit to those guys. Just send it to people, just little bits, like one ETH here or there. I think it would be good fun.
yeah.
So
So how do you think this will affect the ETH price in the short to medium term, or do you think it's kind of a nothing burger and what has happened, and that's it?
the real issue is with this ETH that's been stolen, they can't sell it to somebody. It has to go OTC,
Yeah,
and whoever buys it off them is going to have to buy it at a massive discount because
yeah.
there's no way
I saw
someone's going to
someone
give
talking
them.
about 35 cents on the dollar is the figure what I was seeing.
Yeah. See, I don't
So
know. I
yeah,
like these people probably know better than us, but it will be well, even 35 cents on the dollar is still 300 odd million or 500 million,
yeah.
still 500 million. So it's still a decent amount of money, but I can't see it. I can't see it moving the price, but it's the sentiment
No,
that will get
I mean,
everybody.
I'll just throw up an ETH chart quickly, just so everyone can see what actually happened on the day. So when did this happen? Was this Thursday last week?
I think it was the 20th.
So 20th is there. So you can see actually on the chart this candle, this green little one in the middle, there's kind of a nothing burger, if that
Well,
makes
hold on.
sense.
No, it's the. I think it's the 22nd. I think that was only 2 days ago. I thought it was.
22nd was that one, so it would have pumped on the Friday. Would have made sense if,
Yeah.
oh sorry, it would have made sense if it was 21st, this larger red one.
Let's have a look.
But
Let's get.
in all, if you're looking at this chart here, it's basically become a nothing burger in my eyes. You can see the ETH chart hasn't fallen off a cliff. If it was that big of a deal, you probably would have seen one of these larger wicks down in some case. But ETH, we're still holding in. I mean, it's kind of it's time for it to do something. We're bang up in this wedge. We're getting compressed, as you can see, between these two lines at the minute, and it's decision time soon. Which way will it be? Who knows? Um, but yeah, I don't think the news of that will affect ETH anymore in the short term. I think we are.
Which is very strange and quite reassuring at the same time. I think because
Yeah,
it's such big news, it means that all of those coins are very much tainted. Nobody really is going to want them. It's too much. I think it's too much to wash it all through Tornado Cash because Tornado Cash doesn't have that sort of volume, and for that reason, I think that the sentiment would be bad on ETH. Oh my gosh, they're going to sell 1.4 billion. But this is not like Solana where they've got a
if they've
vesting.
got any common sense, they wait until it gets to 6, 7 grand and then maybe start getting rid of it rather
Yeah,
than now.
yeah. And I think that's what's going to end up happening. Well, you just keep it, and it becomes a bargaining tool, and you say, well,
Yeah,
look, well, we're going to give it to such and such. Some other country might come and say, okay, well, we're going to just sell all this ETH or whatever, and it's just
yeah.
I can't see them trying to sell it and collect 1.4 billion.
I
It's
mean, they
it's
might do a little by little bit, but I don't think they'll be trying to do it in one big lump or like four big lumps.
no,
It won't happen.
no. It's one
Um,
of those ones where they've kind of, I don't know if they've bitten off more than they can chew, but I guess for us, we're not experts in the art of laundering billions of dollars. So it's a difficult one. So we
we
are
want to ask.
speculating.
We want to ask Mr. Trump himself.
Yeah, he would know. He would know. Like, I guess that could they release a meme coin and somehow
Yeah,
mingle in the funds
who
with that?
knows? The King Jong Un coin.
I would buy it. I would buy it if I get it early
See what
enough.
happens.
Yeah, everything's got
Um,
a value.
well, I
Everything's
think
got a
that one
value.
that wraps that up quite nicely. Overall,
Yeah,
tech wise, nothing burger. Although to be fair, if you actually look at the amount stolen last year, so there's just over $2 billion stolen from hacks last year. Obviously,
yeah,
we've seen 65-70% of that in the first 2 months of
yeah,
2025. So
yeah.
great, what addition to add to your bingo card would be to see more than say $2.3 billion stolen in 2025.
One other interesting fact that emerged today was that Bybit have covered their losses
Yeah, they've got
already.
it all back. Yeah.
They've covered their losses already. Apparently, they had 6 billion worth of withdrawals, and they met them. So a lot of people saw the hack and panicked. It was like, let me get all my stuff off of Bybit. It came
Yeah.
to over $6 billion, and Bybit had the readies. So it just kind of goes to show how much money there is inside these centralized exchanges, the
Yeah.
big ones
Also,
anyway.
another good reason to always get your stuff off these exchanges if you're not using them to trade. They're just sitting there, sit them in a cold wallet.
It does make you wonder if they had 1.4 billion as like slush money that they can afford to lose and not go to pieces. Why didn't they use some of that money on like lobbying the American
They
government?
probably did this. They probably got so much they don't know what to do with it. It would not surprise me. I mean, we
Yeah,
saw that massive liquidation event in early Feb, didn't we?
yeah,
So I'm sure they made a lot of money off of that.
yeah,
So to be honest, all the money they could have made off of that could have just been stolen.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe the North Koreans wanted a bit of revenge after being liquidated. It wouldn't surprise me. Who
I don't
knows?
think. I don't think the North Koreans are long crypto, considering they can make the price tank anytime they feel like it. They should be.
Yeah.
They should be short. They should be short.
Right. Let's move into end of American tech. So what is this about? This is one of your ones.
So yeah, so it was just a thing that I came across during the week, whereby there's now some arguments to say that Americans leading the tech world they may not have as big a advantage as they did have. So we saw what happened even to crypto markets when DeepSeek R1 came out, and everybody thought, okay, well, this means Nvidia's not going to be worth as much, and if
Yeah.
Nvidia's not worth as much, then risk assets aren't worth as much, etc., etc. But now we're starting to see some of the other companies beginning to stutter. Microsoft are pulling back on some new chip they were considering designing, which would have been them moving from a software company to a hardware company, and we're having these sorts of scares a bit more regularly within the traditional markets. And the question really is, if America does fall behind as far as tech is concerned, what will that mean
Yeah.
for crypto? Will that mean that our bags
See,
deflate?
I don't. On a macro point of view, there's obviously that everyone talking about this coming away from the US dollar going to BRICS or whatever this foreknown currency will be in the future, and you hear people like Darius Dale and some others talking about this fourth turning effect. There's a book called The Fourth Turning, apparently very highly recommended. Um, and traditionally, if you look at history, every, I think, 120 years off the top of my head, or 140 years, something like that, we get this event where the power shifts from one to another. Now, as far as I'm looking at the world at the minute, there is no outstanding country that could take over the US, which is why people are saying the BRICS, which is obviously like a basket of countries, and their armies and their powers and their crops and everything. But in my eyes, in the short to medium term, so short to medium term on a macro view, looking at 10, 20 years, I don't see anything major happening in the next 10, maybe 20. But I still think you kind of see this American dominance. Not to say that tech in China and in Russia and in Asia and in Europe won't get better, because it will. We know that over time, tech just gets better, and especially with AI nowadays, it's going to be training itself to get better and better and better. And we get this AGI, but then we're going to be doing everything effectively.
Is
So
there is there an argument to say that currently, with regards to the tech with America, that they're possibly speeding up their exit from the lead by using the power that they do have to sanction too many countries, like with Donald Trump saying he wants to sanction the Europeans, and
I
the
mean,
Europeans
I
then
don't.
saying,
I don't know. It depends if these tariffs, like as far as I'm aware at the minute, and as far as I look at these tariffs that he was saying, obviously a couple of weeks ago, all these tariffs, when he mentioned them, would have big effects on the market. We saw the volatility pick up, markets were reacting. He talks about them now, there's nothing. So
yeah,
I think the market's kind of sussed now that, okay, we know these are bargaining chips. He's using this to prod China with a stick and saying, look, you need to do this, this, and then we'll do this to help you, sort
yeah,
of thing.
yeah,
So I think these tariffs are kind of not a nothing burger, because it obviously will affect macroeconomics down the line. But I think they are used for more of a bargaining chip than they are actual trying to annoy people and get it all back, like he was saying.
yeah,
But the other thing, the Nvidia thing, the DeepSeek, because obviously that was the biggest news we've had most recently. Nvidia, I mean, since that sell off, if I just throw the chart up, we have pretty much come back to where we were before it. Um, so I don't know the exact date, but this was the sell off. I believe it was this gap here that
I'll tell you
Nvidia
the
created.
I'll tell you
So
the
we
exact date.
sold off down to around 112. We've since rallied back to 134, and we come straight into this moving average here, which is the 200 day. And as you can see, have rallied back up. And we're now back on to a key area of support around this 130 to 134. And why does that matter? Because we also have earnings coming up this week on Wednesday. I would say that this is bigger than any macro data this week. I know there's some job stuff and that coming out, but I believe this will have more sway on the markets than anything. Um,
Absolutely. When is
so,
when is that released? When is Nvidia earning?
Wednesday, 26th.
Okay. Yeah.
So
That's the big thing this week.
yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying DeepSeek's rubbish, because obviously I've seen a lot of people on Twitter and professionals saying it's actually a lot better than ChatGPT and whatever, which I totally believe. But
It
it just
was.
goes to show that I think this DeepSeek thing is still bullish for Nvidia. I mean, because you look at Grok. So Grok has just come out, okay,
Hmm.
and they're now saying that Grok is better than DeepSeek. I'm hearing
Yeah.
some people say Grok's better than DeepSeek. And
Yeah.
now I don't know if you've seen the All-in-One podcast yet, where
Yeah.
Chamath talks about what Elon had to do to get Grok and that going. It was
Hmm.
like pulling. I can't remember where they went into the States, but they had to get the whole power source over there. Then had to buy every generator in like
Yeah.
150 miles to get it going. Then had to water cool this whole thing.
Hmm.
And Grok's a free product. Like,
Well, right. So here's the real defining thing about DeepSeek, which makes it the most dangerous, is that it's open source. So
yeah,
Grok is not open source. Grok is closed. So we don't actually know what Grok is. We know what it can do, but we don't actually know what Grok is, and we haven't got the power that we have with DeepSeek to take it off and run it whenever we feel and tinker with it and tinker with the code and all this, that, and the other. We don't
yeah.
have that. With DeepSeek, we do have that, and I think the issue not only was that it was open source, but also how cheap it was for them to build that model. Now,
Yeah. Well,
the
supposedly cheap. We don't actually know how much it cost.
we don't know, but what we do know is that it did come from China, and
Yeah.
the guys who done it, they weren't sponsored by China. In fact, China quite dislikes those type of venture capitalist bro type people, because communist state. So China wasn't really very, or
Happy.
is not very happy. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not supporting these guys. So we know they've done it with less resources than Musk had. And for the difference in quality of the two models, for bang for your buck, Grok is
DeepSeek's
nowhere
better.
near R1, yeah, and it's come out after, and everything every few months or whatever, you're going to have a better model get released. So what happens when DeepSeek release their R2? It's probably going to slap Elon Musk and all this money that he's put in the face. And then the question really will be is how much or how many times can the Americans justify spending 10 to 20 times as much more money on their models as the Chinese can? And that's when things will really get interesting. That should probably start to play out by the summertime. Because people will give Musk money to do it once. But if China go and release DeepSeek R2 next month and it's better than Grok 3, everyone's going to be like, well, what are we doing here, guys? Because
Yeah.
these are, they're
There'll be a
beating
lot
up.
of questions being asked.
There will be a lot of questions being asked. And I think that's where the worry is. So what NVIDIA really need to do is they need to get through with decent earnings. This is for our bags, because if NVIDIA does badly, our bags will do badly. They need to get through with decent earnings, and then they need DeepSeek to not release R2 before November. If DeepSeek release R2 in March,
I wonder if this was a topic of conversation when Trump called, what's his name from China? Do you reckon it's a topic of do you reckon that was a topic of conversation, or is that way above their heads?
I don't know. I think their conversations must be really difficult because I'm sure Trump must know how weak a position he's actually in, and Xi Jinping must know.
But then obviously, I think it'd be Elon Musk telling Trump what to say if he's talking
Yeah,
about AI at all.
yeah.
You might even have Grok listening in and saying, "Can you help me respond to Xi
Can you
Jinping?"
help me? Yeah. The problem is Grok takes about a minute and a half to answer. So if it was Joe Biden, he'd probably get away with it because he could just stand there and do for like 2 minutes and then let the
Or
AI.
coach is falling asleep, give him a five.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think it will be very interesting how these things play out. I think if America stay ahead of China, then
Yeah.
our bags, it's good for our bags. The bull market continues. I think if China start to take the lead, I don't know. It then gets interesting. Then we start to think: does crypto become a hedge?
I think we will see a pickup in the broader world stock market per se. So I'll quickly just get some Chinese stocks up. Where are they? China here. So let's have a quick look at these individuals. Because we know Alibaba has been absolutely ripping over the
Well, apparently it had a bad
last.
day today.
It did, but I think that is
Apparently,
purely
yeah.
because of what happened on Friday last week with Nasdaq and that. So this is Alibaba, okay, and I made a very silly mistake last year. I actually sold out all my Alibaba. I had a banging entry price at like $75. Got out for profit, which I'm not too fussed about, but then moved into block, and that has been a bad trade. But shit happens.
Is block no blocks?
No, block is now XYZ, so it's like a payment rail thing, and they also
Okay.
specialise within crypto payments. But Baba, we are now back on from a technical level. If we go to the monthly, you're back above a key area of resistance. So you'd love to see this 120 level, call it, hold. If this holds, that opens up going to these prior highs. So that would call 200 and potentially even 322. So from current price here, assuming they hold to previous all-time highs, 140%. We've also had K-Web, which is like a Chinese. Imagine this is the Nasdaq of China,
Hmm.
effectively. So this has also shown some life. We're now back above some moving averages, and we're kind of just, in my eyes, that would be a little ball flag forming in here before wanting to probably break higher. But this is a good thing because if you zoom out and you look at the macro, we wanted this bull market that we were in to broaden out, and we wanted to go to these not third world countries, emerging markets. We want them to go to these emerging market countries because it's a good sign that everyone's kind of getting a bit of this and it's not so concentrated. Another one, SE Limited. We had this lovely falling wedge, lovely breakout, as you can see here, and that is definitely in the running to be at all-time highs, I would say, probably by the end of the year, something like that. So it's looking good for China. And this is where you might have seen a couple of people coming out of the US and maybe diversifying a bit, going into China. So I'm not saying that China's tech is always going to be behind. I just see, from my point of view, macro, is we're just broadening it out. We should see the Russells start to pick up. We'll see the Dows start to pick up. You'll start seeing these emerging markets like China, like India, like Brazil. All these people will start slowly picking up. I mean, just look at the DAX. Look at the German stock market. It's been absolutely ripping over the last couple of weeks, month. So
And this is without the money printers really being switched
yes,
on.
but this is
So,
probably just a bit of rotation out of this, which is why we've kind of seen the S&P and the Nasdaq kind of go sideways, which is not bad. That to me is consolidation, just on a broader wedge. And then if I quickly just go back into that S&P quick, so the S&P, if I pull that up, so I talk about, or I think I've briefly talked about it before, on the March 21st, we have another OPEX coming into play. And it is a triple witchening, which this is in the options markets. My laptop screen is severely lagging right now, and I can only apologise. I don't know what is going on. Can you see that?
I can see it. Yep.
Right, so this green line is March the 21st, give or take. We're on a weekly chart, so you won't see the date exactly. I'll see if I can put it on the daily. But Jim Carson, I hope I pronounced that right. I may have butchered it, but he is saying that coming into the March of 21st, we should see the S&P in this zone, anywhere between 5,200 to 5,500. Now that is obviously quite a big sell-off from here. And as we just discussed, Nvidia have earnings this week. I think this lines up pretty well, as Nvidia earnings could undershoot, and that causes this market to start making its way down. But the only reason that puts me off is because we know the markets like to go stair-stepping up and elevator down. So do we go for one more high before we get that cascading effect? Because this drop here, which was back in July 24, from peak to trough took 21 days and was around about 10% fall in the S&P. Now, if we've got to fall from where we are now into this, say, midway of the box, it's an 11% move. So it's a 10% move. And if we do it from now to the March 21st or around about, it's around 25 days. So we could start now, and that actually works out really well for this. But that dip, so when he talked about this, he said S&P into this area, then we should see a sharp rebound higher to new all-time highs, which would then, in my eyes, be this blow-off top that we would see. This is when we would probably see Bitcoin at, I don't know, 150 or whatever it is, 170, 180. Altcoins start ripping. I mean, we've talked. The Fed have come out, I think last week, said they're going to look to end QT around end of Q2, early Q3. So stars are starting to align from a macro point of view. It's just in this shorter term, the next 1 to 2 weeks, I'm not sure whether the S&P is going to run. Could Nvidia smash earnings? Yeah, we run for another high. We get, I don't know, 6,200, whatever it is, then reverse. I don't know what it is, but from a macro point of view, it's a bit. I'm trying to add it all up in a minute.
I think Nvidia probably will do well with their earnings.
I think they'll be. I'm just not sure whether it'll be enough to seem as really positive.
Yes, because we've then got to worry about forward guidance.
They not just need to. They just don't need to meet the targets. They need to blow the targets out of the water.
Yeah, they do. And then they need to forward guide bullish as well. and that's going to be
Because I mean,
the
a lot of things. You look at the likes of Tesla that's recently just broke down. Coinbase has recently just broke down from key support levels. Some of the Bitcoin miners are bang on key support areas, and if they break, then they could be going 15, 20% lower. A lot of alts, even at ETH we looked at earlier, that's a banger support levels. So it's decision time, and it's probably this week, if not next.
I did watch a guy talking about Tesla and talking about the Tesla robots and saying that on the Tesla robots alone, just due to the fact that Tesla have got Elon and Tesla seem to be pretty good at creating product, on the robots alone, you should probably buy Tesla at this price because they
Yeah,
are going to become a lot
yeah.
more
I
than
mean,
just a
I think
company.
Tesla is one of the most underestimated and understood stocks out there.
Yeah,
Everyone thinks when you say Tesla, everyone just automatically thinks cars,
yeah,
and that's it. They don't think of autonomous cars, autonomous
no,
taxis, robots, the data that he's actually got from all of these cars driving around the world. He probably has the most data on the world's roads than anyone.
yeah.
Like,
Maybe Ubers and people like that they might have
but it depends
similar.
if they've got cameras, because most of
Yeah,
Uber's cars haven't got cameras.
no, they haven't.
Tesla's
Yeah,
got what, six, seven cameras on the outside or whatever it is,
yeah,
if not more.
yeah.
I think, and not to mention, if he then starts putting all of this AI training data into these cars, I mean,
And I
it,
think I think that may be the point at which the Americans can keep, especially in the AI race, keep their noses in front is in the data that they have. And I think that might have been even a point that they made with the whole TikTok issue is that the data itself becomes the new gold, becomes the new oil.
yeah.
You AI is AI, but if AI's got better data, it becomes stronger AI. So
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
that's a very
I think we talked about Tesla a while back, and I'm pretty sure we'll have a look at the chart in a minute. But when we looked at that head and shoulders, I think it was a head and shoulders or some sort of wedge on it. I think I said I saw Tesla going to 700, and that would not surprise me. And we're now sitting at four something, I think, if not
yeah
350, something
yeah.
like that.
It's a
And
question of do you go now or do you wait for
I think you
everything to
start
come
because
in?
so the way I look at things, obviously, you can be trying to catch that knife. You can try and catch that big event or whatever it is that comes down, and whatever that event could be. I know we've talked about cyber attacks and whatnot, and we've said if there's a cyber attack, I don't think you actually even have a connection to try and get entries into this stuff, let alone actually get some money in.
Yeah.
But the way I've always looked at it, so actually we'll throw up the chart now, just to share. So this is Tesla on a monthly, and you can see this kind of big head and shoulders here, marked out with those yellow dots, and you can also see this kind of wedge that we were in, which we broke out. Now, targets for this come bang into these fib area or trend-based fib extension areas around 766. We're currently at 370. So why do I say yes, start now? Yes, we can, and I'm not saying we can't. We can definitely fall from here because if I zoom in actually to the daily, you can see Tesla's recently just broken down. Let me turn. Oh, yeah, so you can see this wedge here. We've recently just broken down, and that's actually targeting this key area of support around 297, which is also the 200-day EMA. Perfect. Okay. Yes, Tesla can come down from 340 to around that $300 mark. I'm not saying it's calm. It can also definitely fall into where it has these gaps in the markets around 250 to 220, whatever that is. Now, I don't think they're likely. I think your most likelihood is what, a 10% fall from here. If you come into here, you're looking at 20. If you come into here, you're looking at 35. Your upside, okay, on something like this, and this is the way I look at it. So if I get in now, my max downside risk is maybe what, 35%,
Yeah.
40%. I call it, I'm out. Okay. Your upside risk from here to just that target alone is 125%. Okay, obviously you can
Yeah.
have tighter stop losses and whatnot. But in my personal position, I'm more than happy to risk a 30% downside for over 100% upside. Um, that's just me. But let's see. I'm bullish Tesla, and I will be buying the whole way because I kind of have a set it and forget it system where I will just buy every month, whatever it is, kind of regardless. And if I think it's slightly overbought, I'll pause it for that month. And then
Yeah.
next time I enter, it will be a slightly bigger sum at a lower price. So yes, I think Tesla is a buy here, not financial advice. I have added to my bags in the last week or two, and will continue to do so on the way down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's kind
Okay.
of see.
Do you want to chat about
Memes.
can I talk about radium quickly?
Yeah, do radium, yeah.
I'll quickly talk about radium. I'm not going to be long, but I want to quickly, very quickly share my screen.
That was selling off sharp last night, wasn't it?
Yes. And even, I guess, well, yeah, in the last 24 hours, right, what am I doing? There's this share.
Yeah, down
Screen.
24% today alone.
Crazy. So,
Yeah,
so here it is.
mad.
So it's trending at the minute. If we check here, it's the number 2 in trending, along with Solana and Bear Train. So radium is the biggest DEX on Solana. And it has fallen off a cliff, which is bad for me because I actually have some radium.
Same.
Yeah, so last night around 1 o'clock it fell off a cliff. Now the reason why it's fallen off a cliff is because, if I can get here, pump dot or pump dot.
The meme coin casino.
Yeah, so pump dot fun AMM. So basically pump dot fun have said that they might be launching their own AMM, which is what Radium is, their own automated market maker. So their own version of Uniswap or whatever you want to call
Do you want
it.
to explain what that is for the people
Right, so
watching?
that's basically a DEX. It's a way that you can exchange one token to another. So when people are buying all of these meme coins on Solana, they're always using a DEX. Sometimes they'll use a centralized exchange. Otherwise, they will use a DEX. DEXs are easier. And the one that they're always using, well, two, is either Radium or Meteora. Now, Jupiter is like a broker, so they will send you to either Radium or Meteora, but all of the volume actually goes through those two DEXs. Now, the majority of the tokens are being created on pump.fun, which is a platform of its own, which I guess I can quickly show.
This is where all the trench warriors hang out.
Oh my gosh, it's carnage. Oh, I can't. Well, this is new, so you can't use
Yeah,
pump.fun
you
in
got
the
to use a
UK.
VPN.
Okay, well, I'm not going to do that right now because that might be illegal and I'm scared. So you can just imagine what it is, and if you ever escape the United Kingdom, then you can freely use the.
this.
Yeah, you can use it. So anyway, so the pump.fun is where all of these coins are launched. Now, if they have their own AMM, it will mean a lot of volume is removed from Radium. That will be terrible news for Radium because even AI agents generally launch on pump.fun. Everybody is launching via pump.fun. And it's caused this massive sell-off. Is this a nothing burger?
No, I mean, the one thing I've never liked about Radium is the interface.
Oh, it's
It's
terrible.
just horrible.
It's terrible.
It's
It's
a
so
horrible
slow.
interface. And you can
Yeah.
compare it to some of these other ones, like Jupiter, just as an example on sale. Not that it's the same, but it's just so much smoother and easier to use. You go to Radium, you feel you've gone back 10 years and everything's glitching.
Oh, hold on. No, that's not Radium. That's Radium's price. Let's get Radium up, and then we can show how bad this.
Yeah, the UI UX on it is appalling.
I mean, look at the state
Look
of
at
that.
it.
Look at the state of that. Look at the state of that. So if I want to swap my soul for Foxy, oh
Yeah,
gosh,
it's just
it's just terrible. And I think they've got a new. What version am I on? I think they've got various versions, but it's not.
I need to do a serious update.
And it's not as if these guys haven't got the necessary readies for them to actually
Yeah,
put
they've got
something
more
good
than
together.
enough.
And this is what they do. So yeah, so this is Radium, and If it's a nothing burger, then this would be a decent entry point, I guess.
Right.
Um,
Well, can I show my screen on the technicals?
yeah, okay. Let's do some
I,
TA on that.
when I first saw this, or I saw the headlines, and then saw Radium obviously absolutely shat its pants and just dropped off a cliff. I then thought, oh, I bet you it's bang at some sort of area of resistance on the chart, and it is. We're in this what could be cast as rising wedge at the minute, or a rising, a broadening wedge at the minute, and we're just at the halfway point. This could definitely come down to around that $2 area in here. I believe that's where you find support. So at the moment, as we just said about Tesla, you could definitely start entering here. I'm not saying no. Okay, not to say that it can't go down to 2, maybe a little bit lower, or wherever it is. But if radium's to hang around, which I think it will, and still perform, these are the areas you want to be watching if you're looking to add to your bags. Anywhere between the 195 to 210 region is the area. And you can see we got bang up to this area of support, got rejected, and have since sold off. We could also, if this support is lost, definitely come back to 96 cents.
There will be a lot of sad radium baggies if it goes
Yeah,
down that low.
definitely.
But the problem is with that interface, radium is just dying to get cancelled. It's dying to get.
What would be quite cool if Pump.Fun and Radium kind of did something together on a new
I
thing.
don't know. I don't know where radium are based. I know. I
Is
think
that
pump.
possible?
Um, it's unlikely because I can't see what radium bring to the table. I guess they bring the volume, kinda.
And
But I
clients?
think I think a lot of radium. I think radium have a lot of their volume purely because they are the incumbents. I think they have most of
Right.
their volume because they were there first, and there was such a long gap between them and Meteora showing up. I think that's.
Mm.
I think
So do
that's
you
the
reckon
reason.
they'll hang around? Or could this knock them off?
I hope it wakes them up. I hope it makes them feel like we need to compete. We need
Yeah.
to we need to create new products because not only have they not updated their interface, but they don't have. There's no other product here. There's literally
Yeah.
just the liquidity and the regular stuff that everyone
I
has.
mean, because if we lost that $2 area, I'd probably look to just take the hit and see what they do.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to be holding for another 50% drawdown.
it's it's
Um,
it's definitely risky waters.
yeah,
It's
it's
definitely
not a
risky waters.
it's not a great look for them,
No, but
especially
let's
if
discuss.
Pump then come out and have some amazing new um, thing.
The thing is, everybody's launching from Pump.Fun. I guess the only other argument would be, what if Radium create their own launchpad? What if Radium partner up with
Mm,
AI16Z or someone like that and create their own launchpad? Then
then that'd
suddenly
be interesting.
Pump.Fun, yeah, that would be interesting.
That'd be
That would
really
be
interesting,
interesting.
actually.
So,
Right.
should we discuss memes, a roundup, then do our
Are they dead?
predictions?
What do you reckon? Dead or not dead?
I think they're clinging on. I think they're clinging on.
I think there
I
is
don't think they
some.
can.
I think there's some must-haves, like the ones that have been strong. I'm quickly. My screen's gonna be so laggy, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna share my screen.
I'm quite sure that even if they die, I think it will be one of those like Jesus died for a few months, resurrected at Easter. Because second
Yeah.
half of this year, I think everything goes. Oh
So
gosh,
this is in the last 24 hours. Bear in mind. Okay, this is
that's
meme
all.
category.
Yikes!
Uh, Dogs are down 8%. Elon Musk are down 3.8.3. Solana memes are down 17. Frog themed 11, and so on, as you can see. Um, this is the sectors. So if we go to max, you can see here that what's this one? What's this darker one? Is that Solana memes? Or is that dog? No, that's dog themed, isn't it? So dog and Elon Musk inspired memes at the moment are the strongest. That is this dark brown, whatever that is on my screen, and
Mm.
pink. You can see dog themes, I believe, have a market cap currently of 51 odd billion. Elon Musk around 36.8. I don't know what they class as an Elon Musk inspired meme coin, but I don't know if Doge counts. I don't really know.
Well, that would
Um,
be a dog, wouldn't it?
well, I would have thought so, but then also a lot of people associate it with Elon Musk, don't they?
Mm.
And you can see here over the last 30 days. How do I filter this? Market cap. I want a billion. Actually, we'll do 100 mil to a billion. I can only apologise about this serious lag. So over the last 30 days, and it's gone off already. Stuff you. I don't understand why it does this. My laptop is fine all day, and as soon as we stream, issues. I'm not going to touch it. So we can see Floki over the last 36 days or 30 days is 36% down. Dog with Hat is 50% down.
Well,
SPX is down
I
48. Pudgies,
we can see.
Brett, AIC, Fartcoin. I mean, that was massive. 77%
Mm.
down. So we've seen some flushing happening. We've
Yeah,
seen
blood in
some
the water.
serious flushing. Now, is there any ones that you can think of on the top of your head that have stood out
That have been strong.
or
None.
stronger than others?
Maybe SPX, but
Yes.
as you just looked at it there,
It looks bad
maybe.
on that side of things. If you throw up the chart, which I'll try and do now, um, it actually looks really good. Where are we? We want to go Dex Screener. Here we go. And then we want to go ETH and then SPX. So I'm actually debating selling my Pepe and going for SPX. We are. Do you know when we last talked about this? I talked about the McDonald's top
Yeah,
that it played out.
you said it.
That is
You
the
said
McDonald's M playing out for you guys. So if you don't believe it, you now should. Every time you see one of these, you should be very wary indeed.
You know
Um,
what? And look how perfectly it's played out as well. It's gone down exactly like
so
it's. I've got my friend. He always says when these things happen, he says this chart has respected the hell out of my lines, and this
yeah,
chart has
it has.
respected. It's really respected your lines.
So if it is to lose this diagonal support, okay, that's not good.
Hold on, wait.
That,
Before you do that, let's recap the M, right? So the M that you can see there is the yellow M, like the McDonald's golden arches. Now at the
yeah,
end of the M, there is a straight down white line, which is where you predicted
that is the
how
target.
far
Yeah.
how far the stock would drop, how far SPX would drop.
How do we get
Then
this target? What you want to do is you go from the top of the McDonald's M, okay, and you draw to what would be the bottom of the McDonald's M, and that is just a local area of support down here. You then take that straight line and literally drag it to where it broke down on the day. It then gives you the target. That is the maximum target. Now, sometimes they go a bit shorter, sometimes they overextend, but you get a rough idea. So, say if you give it 10% either side of where this thing is headed. And you can also see that this green box is a key area of support. It has broke that. You had a sharp bounce on the 3rd, which was actually the liquidation day, I believe. And then since then, you've just seen a drop lower. Now, for SPX, this is kind of a must-hold diagonal area of support. I believe horizontals are stronger than diagonals, but you still respect them. The other thing you could argue here on the daily is we are in some form of little wedge here. Now, this could technically be classed as a bearish wedge because you have your original move coming down and you're consolidating. If it was the other way around and we'd come up, created our triangle, that would be classed as bullish. But this is technically a bearish bias wedge, and a technical breakdown of this wedge would give us something like, let's say it broke down there, like that, which would take us into this key area of must hold support between 0.38 to 50 cents, let's say. So if you're going to pick it up, I think between now and this green box is where you want to be looking.
Yeah.
I mean, as we just mentioned earlier, obviously, when you're looking at smaller stuff, you've got to try and add this all into the bigger picture macro point of view, which is why you hear a lot of people in the macro space and crypto space go, macro is crypto, crypto is macro. Because if the S&P is selling off, I'm not expecting SPX 6900 to then start going on a massive tear.
No.
It's just not the way it's going to work. So if you go back to earlier in the podcast, you'll see, or stream, whatever we want to call it, you'll see that we talked about this March OPEX happening on the 21st of March, and we should see the S&P down into that big green box I mentioned at the bottom. I can't remember the numbers, but go on.
I was going to say, but when you're done with this, after you've done this, can we do AI 16Z? Can we do some TA on that one?
Yeah.
Because I want to.
Yeah, that's fine. So if we are to come down to that area during that March OPEX or coming towards it, I'd expect a big sell-off in the S&P, and it's around 10%. I would expect, depending on where crypto is at, a 15 to 20% pullback in the total crypto chart, definitely. The S&P falls 10%, I definitely see Bitcoin falling 10, and altcoins probably falling 20, 30, 40, 50%, being merged. And from a sentiment point of view, from what I'm seeing, I think that would push a lot of people out and they'd be done. They'd be going, this is the worst bull market ever. My bags haven't pumped. What the hell is this? I've lost money here. I've lost money there. And they'd go. That would be it. But that would be, in my eyes, the capitulation event. That is where everyone folds. That's where everyone gets out and you start seeing this stuff forming a little bottom before the blow off, which is what I said after the S&P 500 gets there, is we should then see a rally back to all-time highs for the blow-off. But let's kind of see what happens. But yes, memes. This has been one of the stronger ones. This is one of the ones I am looking at. The other ones, whilst I'm on here, is niggles. Now today, that has broke down, literally as of today. You can kind of see, actually, I'll just go over to trading view because that's where all the others are as well. But yes, in this sort of market, like WIF, we know has been absolutely butchered.
Yeah.
Over
And
the
PopCap.
last, PopCap's been butchered. Fartcoin has been butchered. There's loads. So we'll kick it off with Doge, biggest and the best. On a technical level, like if I get rid of all this noise that's on here, all these lines, and make it look all fancy, get rid of that, and then just do that. Where are we? We're bang on this prior high. That is now acting as support. What we would like to see here is this hold. We rallied up, we've come down, we kind of sat on that support here, had a brief bounce before a knock back in. I think we could kind of be seeing the same thing now. I think we could get a brief bounce, maybe back up to 30, and then a knock back in to around 17. That would be the capitulation event. That is where everyone will go, Doge is shit, it didn't go to $1. They'd sell their bags, not realizing that on a bigger macro time frame, we're still in a period, or would be a period, of higher highs and higher lows, as you can see here. So that's what I kind of be looking for. It's looking for the ones, one, you have conviction in, and two, that you will think will hang around if and when their day comes again. My laptop is severely lagging at the moment. I'll try and get to the next one. Niggles, as I briefly just spoke about. So Doge is one of the strong ones. S&P, S&P, SPX 5900. That's one of the ones. Miggles, first of all, on this monthly chart. Look at this baby. That is just a big monthly bull flag in my eyes. We just need February to make sure we don't close low effectively, which at the moment is not looking too hot. But let's see, we're coming to support levels. Weekly, you can see we're in a big wedge. That would be classed as a bullish wedge because we have our move up. There's an argument to say, or where you draw these lines, you could get rid of this. Let me get that back. You could get rid of this diagonal here, and it could just be like some sort of ascending wedge, so just going sideways with a flat support at the bottom here. But I'm looking at these local horizontal areas of support as well. So that's Miggles. Shorter term targets, we've got some coming into around the 0.4. So if I quickly just shoot daily, you should be able to see that. Yeah, you can see this, what would be classed as a bear flag, actually break down. And we've also had this wedge breakdown with a target of around 0.42. I'd be looking for this to be bouncing here. You can see one of my alerts here in white. So when it gets there, you know what I'll be doing. It's close. I have been adding for full transparency. Now, this is one of the ones that hasn't held up too well, which we have viewed before with. This is like a massive McDonald's M. You see that? Massive McDonald's M. Okay? This is your must hold level. If goes below that, it's done. I don't think it would come back if it does not hold these areas of support. Although I'll tell you what's quite interesting, AIXBT has been tweeting about Pepe and WIF and saying that retail are selling whilst whales accumulate, which I thought was quite interesting over the last couple of weeks.
Because I guess the theory behind that will be if WIF doesn't die, you can't possibly get it much cheaper than it is now.
That would be the ultimate in-your-face meme rally, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Going from 60 cents to new all-time highs at $5.70 or $8. That's a 13x.
Yeah.
I would not be saying no to that.
It's what memes do, isn't it? So in the blow off top, this WIF flying away would be one of the I don't want to say obvious ones, but we wouldn't be surprised.
No.
However,
this is why it's also remained in my target or my portfolio thing for 2025. So that new challenge I've got going, WIF's in it. I'm not taking it out because the risk to reward is there. I will continue to DCA into it whilst it's down at these levels. And if it dies, it dies. If it doesn't, then I'll be a very happy man. The last stronger one that I feel, especially with ETH, if it picks up, is Pepe. The big green frog. Everyone probably knows who it is. This is Pepe. Key area of support, if we lose this horizontal, is definitely this green box down here. It loses that, it's going to do a whiff, and you probably see down here again, these sorts of areas. So something like that. You could definitely see Pepe back in here if we lose this area down here, or this lower green boundary. So in the meme world, be very specific with which ones you are trying to pick up and which ones you don't want to pick up, because some of them have been smashed. Brett's another good example, kind of another McDonald's M in there. That's your support line. It loses that, there's nothing holding it up. It's just nothing. It's just going to tumble. So if you're holding Brett, that is your... Anything below these sort of wick lows here, on a weekly or monthly closing basis, be very, very careful.
What's your thoughts on AI16Z at the moment?
Oh yes, I'll quickly throw that one up.
Yeah,
that's quite interesting. I'm not fading. Obviously, if you look at it from more of a fundamental point of view, they're a lot better positioned than memes. That's the same with the likes of Virtuals and Game and Arc and FXN and all these other ones that we have talked about before.
Yeah.
So this is AI16Z. We have this rising wedge, which we have broken. We lost this first area of support, which I think opens up this lower green box. We're currently in a wedge. This would be classed as you'd have a bearish bias being in this wedge. If we get a breakdown, where's it go? To our green box. So
Is that the one that's around 15?
yeah, that's the one around between 10 to 16 cents, which is not going to be a nice hold if you've already got a bag. But if you do have conviction in it, you will not hesitate to DCA down, which is what I will be doing, because I won't be selling here and trying to get all fancy with sell it now and try and buy it back low in my own bag. That's not for me. I will just continue to DCA down into that. But yeah, shorter term, we lose this wedge for AI16Z. Could definitely come in to that green box below. But ultimately, that's a key area of support. Then on the way back up, this green box would be a key area of resistance. We'll turn that red. That'd be your level to get through. Get through that, all-time highs. These things can be very painful and very slow. I mean, the other one, my bigger bag of the AI stuff is Arc, which has been performing, I think, a bit better than the others.
Arc done really well when everything was doing really badly, but it's been dragged into
There's
the
two kind of patterns here. We had this falling wedge here, which broke out, and you can see the target for that was around 56. We didn't quite get there, so as I said earlier, it gives you a rough idea of where these things are going, which is why if it gives you a target, give it 10% either side. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, but we pretty much got to that target. So if I now remove that, make it a bit clearer, you can also see we're in this, what could be classed as megaphone pattern or broadening wedge. Now these are currently volatile patterns. There is a bigger one of these in the S&P as well. So this at the moment, we've been rejected at its local area of resistance. Local area of support is the 15 cents region, 16 cents. If we get above that, it definitely opens up another run to 46. You clear that. Previous highs around 62, and if not, the top of this broadening wedge here. So it's kind of a difficult time. This is where it will test your conviction. I mean, we've talked about and we've been bullish for, since day dot pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to change my stance. Yes, in the short term, we could see some lower price action, but I'm not investing for 1 to 2 weeks down the line.
Yeah.
I'm 3 to 6 months in the future. I'm not too fast.
Predictions.
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's do our predictions. Well, first of all, let's do our recap. I'm looking at my numbers now, and I know I'm 0 for 5. No, I'm 0 for 5 because I've gone and been captain bullish. I'm not being bullish again this week. I'm going to be bearish this week.
Right. So what did we have?
BTC. I've gone in with BTC. My prediction was 100k.
100k.
That was mine. I know.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not this week. Oh, why do you keep drawing for? What did I have?
Well, we did get up to 99. We got up to 99 on.
Yeah, go on. We'll give you that. You're 480 off.
Yeah. That was kind of.
That.
I'll take that because we almost touched it.
What did I have?
93, which is basically where we are now.
Yeah, no, the low was 93.4, and yeah, it come down. So that's right. 1 so far.
Okay, all right.
So
I was lucky with that one. I'm not going to be so lucky with the next one. So Solana, I had $220 and you had 190.
So we saw a high of 190. Well, 189.72. So I was pretty much on. And would you
Yeah,
say 200?
I said 220, but
Oh, okay, yeah, bit off.
yeah, yeah. So
Well,
Solana, what do you think Solana is suffering from at the moment? The fallout of the Argentinian thing, or what? What do you think is the problem?
I really don't know. I think it's a mix of things, but I really don't know. But the only way I look at this on a slightly bigger time frame is if you actually ignore that sort of wedge I've drawn in, it's just a big ball flag between 120 and 240, technical wise. And it's not easy to hold because obviously if you're buying at 120, you didn't set up well, even if you bought in here at 170, you're thinking, oh my God, it's going to 600, going to 500. Only managed to get a two-all-time high of 3 and has dumped back off to 150. You're thinking, crap. And if it gets down to 120, you're going, well, I'm going to take my losses now. I'm going to take my losses. But that's then when it will move.
Yeah.
So
So,
I'm not
I
I'm not
thought,
bearish on it. I think longer term bullish still.
okay, right. Let's get into Tau.
So you're 1 for 2, I'm 2 for 2.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Let's get into Tau.
Oh, look at that
Tau,
monthly candle. Sorry. Look at that.
that looks like it's drawing an M.
Oh, it's exactly a replay of that. I mean, what happened in the month after? Not
Yeah.
financial advice. Sorry, carry on.
Oh, hold on. No, we both got Tau. Because Tau went crazy. There we
Yes.
go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So, well, you were better. You were closer because you'd gone as far as 400. But Tau ripped up to 475.
I've got 494 on mine.
No, you said 400 and I said 370. Oh, you
Yeah.
494 is your highest. Yeah, I
No,
don't
no,
have the.
the high of Tau, sorry, for the week was 494.
Yeah, yeah, I don't have the wicks because I'm looking on CoinGecko.
Oh, right, okay,
I
yeah.
don't have the wicks.
Yeah,
That
so
was on
three,
Feb
three for
21st.
three and 2 for 3. Lovely.
Okay. Do you know what? I've not done that bad then.
You've done better than you thought.
I've done better than I thought. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
All right,
We'll take it. All right, here we go. AI16Z. Now the pain starts.
right. What did
So
you have?
I went with 55 cents,
Yeah.
and you, in your ultimate wisdom, went with 43. And
Oh, I got 41.8.
I
Went
think,
to
I
high of
think,
41.8.
I think we'll give you that.
Yeah.
I think we'll give you that. Yeah, because you're basically there. You're 1 cent off.
I mean, yeah, we're minimal.
You're
70p.
1 cent off. Yeah, you're 1 cent off. I'm
Well,
nowhere
thank you
near.
very much, sir.
All right, so it's 4-2. I've got two,
Yeah.
you've got four. And
And then
finally,
uni.
oh my gosh.
You said like 13, didn't you?
Yeah, I said 13, you said 11. We
Yeah.
just went down and down. We just went down from there. We didn't even
Well,
get.
we went to a high last week of 10.24.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we both missed that one.
Should I put. Let's look on the monthly. When did we do it? We are on the 24th to the 14th. Yeah.
So sadly, well, I did pretty well in the end, about 4 out of 5, and you did 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I had a
So
horrific week.
as a collective, we did all right.
As a collective, we've got 6 out of 10.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's over a 50% hit rate. I'll tell you
That's
that.
over 50% hit rate, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you make money with that. You make money with that sort of hit rate.
This is what I was going to say. Actually, should we every week put a trade on for one of the assets that we discuss? So at the end
Yes,
here with my picks.
yes. I was going to say that as well. And then it'll be the one that we really believe in, and we'll that one will get asterisk, and we'll put like a small trade on for that particular one.
Yes.
I think
Yeah,
that's a
let's
great
do
idea.
that.
Okay.
So,
All right.
right, what we're
So
doing today, we stick in with BTC.
Yes, always BTC.
Yeah.
Don't
ETH or
fake
Sol?
me. Let's do ETH this week.
Okay. AI
Should
stuff?
we,
What do you reckon?
should we do a meme? Which ones are we looking at just now? Pepe?
Yeah, we can do Pepe.
Oh no, let's do which was the one that done the M and the massive drop? That was with, wasn't
SPX
it?
6900.
Oh, was that SPX? Yeah, let's do SPX.
Yeah.
Let's do SPX.
So we'll do SPX. I will do. Oh, what's going on? Why is this so laggy? I'm going to do Miggles. I've got,
Okay.
I've got, to, got to pump the bass.
We got to do one. We've got to do
Do you want to
one
do one
AI.
AI?
Yeah. Which one should we do?
Should we do ARC?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do ARC. Yeah. So let's do ARC. AI rig complex.
Yeah, there we go. Right, kicking off with Bitcoin. Where do you think we are going? We are on, just for some technical reference, the lows of this, what could be classed as bear flag. Support is for longing, resistance is for shorting.
I think I'm gonna go bearish this week because my bullishness is just making me lose, and I'm sick of it. So I'm gonna go
You are
bearish.
watching Cryptosi capitulate in real time.
Literally, you're watching my weak paper hands capitulate. I'm gonna go 89.
89, yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna say we break to the downside.
89k. Right. See, we've got a week. We've got Nvidia earnings, they're going to be the thing. And the S&P has bounced today. It has bounced today, and it's on support, good support. I'm going to go bullish. We're on support. Support is for long in. I am going to go and say we see Bitcoin back up at 98 by the end
This is
of.
good because this is the first time I think we've had such a divergence in our thing. Well, since last
Yeah,
week. Last week I was bearish. Last week I was bullish. You were bearish. This week
yeah.
I'm bearish. You're bullish.
Right, this isn't the best ETH chart, by the way, but it's going to have to do if we are lagging like hell. Where do you think? Actually, no, I want to throw the other one up. This is awful. I can't look at this. Here we go. Much better. We're being squeezed currently. ETH is being squeezed.
Do you know? I can't help but be bullish. I'm just looking at it, and it's gone. It's been down so much, like in the last
Yeah.
few days. Recovered, come back down again. I really want to say 2.8, but whenever I be bullish, I'm just wrong. So let me just be bearish. Let me stick with my theme. I'm
Stick
going
with
to
your
say
bearish
two.
bias.
Oh yeah, I'm going to say 2,300.
I'm going to take your first one at 2.8. Call it 2.850 actually, because we're at 2.650 now. It's not that much of a move. So 2.850, and what did you say? 2.3?
Yep.
Okay. So what else we got? SPX 6900. Let's stick this on the daily. Where do you think we're going?
I can't fade SPX.
Because you've got a bearish bias, you can't expect Bitcoin and ETH
I
to dump.
know. I hate being bearish. It's no fun. Uh, oh, 48.
48.
Yeah, I think this might be my worst week ever. I can feel it.
Oh, because I do think we could come into this here. I think we could definitely come into this 54 region, but if we get there and bounce, I just don't know how fast we're going to get there. That's the question.
Yeah,
That
and
is.
I've gone for the break in that. I've gone that we just pitch straight through it.
Okay, I'm going to go a tad bearish, and I'm going to have to say 54. So 0.54. And what did you say, 0.48?
Yeah.
I need to maybe go out on the risk curve a bit with my predictions, because mine seem to be a bit...
No, that's only because I'm being crazy. Because I'm as we say in poker, I'm tilted. So,
All right, Eagles. I'm going to stick with my bearish bias here. Bear flag has broke down. You've got this wedge targeting down here. I'm going to say we definitely go to 0.044.
zero 0.44. I'm going to go with 0.37.
37 in here. Yeah, I like it. 30% drawdown. Yeah, 10, 13. Was it 0.37?
Yeah.
0.037. And the final prediction. Arc. Where do you think we're going?
Oh.
We are on support. Or in a support region.
1.5.
I'm going to go bullish. 0.28. I reckon we could bounce on the video earnings. I don't think it will, but just as a trying to find the narrative.
The thing is, we've been quite bullish, quite bearish this week.
Right, now,
And
which one are you going to do your trade on? This is the real
okay, yeah, this is the tough one.
because I think we should talk about where we'd have our stop loss and take profit for this stuff.
Okay, so we'll pick one. Which one? All right, we'll pick one each, shall we? I will have. I'm gonna have. Oh, I feel like I want to do the ETH one.
Yeah, you can take ETH.
Yeah, bearish ETH.
Okay. I am going to take. Where are we? I'm going to take the Bitcoin long. I'm going to be long in here, and I'm going to have stops at around 92.
Okay.
I reckon we could get a decent overthrow in and then fake out up again. So my trade literally in my head is
Right. So you got stopped at what? 92.
around 92. Yeah. Actually, no. Fuck it. I'll leave the stops open till 91.
Okay. 91.
91 stops, and then I reckon 98 take profit.
Okay, I'm saying 2-3. I'll have my stops at. I guess 275. I guess.
So I'll put that trade on literally within the next hour of getting off of this call. Sorry, where are you putting your stops?
275. 2750.
75, and your take profit?
2-3 if I hit my target.
2, 3. Lovely stuff. Let's see how we get on.
Yeah, let's see. Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. 84 minutes. That wraps up episode 16. We got through a lot of stuff. Everybody, please
Thank you very
like,
much for
share.
watching, everyone.
Yeah, congratulations on getting to the end. We hope that it was a lot of good alpha. Coming up next week.
Session.
Yeah, coming up next week, I think we may have another hackathon for me to muse over if there's any good projects there. I'm just checking my diary to see what I'm
Watch out
actually.
for the video earnings this week, guys. Market volatility happening on Wednesday. I don't know if it's actually before or after the bell either.
What we'll do is we will discuss those earnings next week
Yeah,
and how they will affect our bags.
yeah. Let's see how bad. Let's see how bad maybe we're down. Let's see if
Or
it's
how,
worse. Let's see if it's worse than we had that altcoin flush.
I think Nvidia will beat.
Let's
It's just a
see.
question of will they
Think they might.
smash? Yeah,
Yeah.
they need to smash.
Right. Until next time, guys. Thank you very much for joining, and we shall see you next week. Adios.